What's new this month at Rogers Railroad Junction? We're going about as retro as you can go, in the diesel realm that is, with Alco HH600 switchers, courtesy of Atlas. First delivered to the New Haven in July of 1931, these groundbreaking machines were among the first land vehicles to ever utilize the then revolutionary technology of diesel-electric propulsion. And with 177 units being produced over a 9-year span, in horsepower ratings ranging from 600 to 1,000, the series was deemed a commercial success. This would ultimately lead to an evolution of design into the legendary S-Series switchers, many of which are still in service today. Featuring directional headlights, fine metal truck chains, a 5-pole skew-wound armature motor with dual flywheels, and a QSI sound system with integrated digital control. This is the machine that led the diesel revolution and the ultimate repowering of America's railroads. Grab yours today. And more than 7 decades later, the diesel revolution continues with AC 6000s from Broadway Limited. Built by General Electric during the mid-1990s at the height of the horsepower race, these 6,000 horsepower monstrosities were intended to compete directly with EMD's equally powerful SD90 Mac locomotives. Built for both domestic production in the US and export to Australia, teething problems were quick to develop as issues with engine vibration and turbocharger pressurization reared their heads. Ultimately, much like their 90 Mac cousins, 6,000 horsepower was deemed to be simply a bridge too far, and the bulk of these units were either retired or derated down to a more manageable 4,400 horses. But for a brief time, these machines were the undisputed kings of the rails, and now you can relive those glory years in exquisite detail, with precision-applied cut levers and MU hoses, prototypical lighting, all-wheel drive and electrical pickup, appropriate plumbing and bell placement, and an integral DCC control system with the best low-speed operation in the entire hobby. And also from Broadway this month, Alco RSD 15 road switchers. Another product of the American Locomotive Company, only 75 of these machines were produced throughout the late 1950s. Although small in number, their long, low noses quickly captured the imagination of rail enthusiasts, who tagged them with the nickname alligators. Featuring operating knuckle couplers, a can motor with precision gearing, a detailed cab, and Broadway's acclaimed Paragon 2 integrated sound and control system. Available in multiple road names and paint schemes, either in stock or via special order. And continuing our rollout of Broadway Limited, livestock cars with factory-equipped sound have just arrived. Yes, Old MacDonald has a railroad this month, with these highly detailed and somewhat noisy tributes to America's cattle and meatpacking industries. With features such as freestanding ladders and grab irons, metal mesh roof walks, full brake rigging, and prototypical paint, these cars are a squeal of a deal. Available in multiple road names and featuring sound files for either pigs, mules, or, of course, cattle. Just try not to think about what comes next, okay? Turning back to Atlas, we have several offerings in our rolling stock department, starting with bathtub coal gondolas from their Trainman line. Built from welded aluminum for a low tear weight and high lading capacity, prototypes for these cars typically feature fish belly bottoms and rotary couplers, the latter of which are denoted by the brightly painted car ends. Featuring weighted frames, Accumate brand couplers, free-rolling metal wheels, and realistic loads. Also from the Atlas Trainman family, there's 2-bay cement hoppers. Built with prototype-appropriate trucks, detailed brake rigging, topside roof hatches, end platform detail, and Accumate couplers are all standard features on these fine miniatures. Originally classified as special cars by the Association of American Railroads, the AAR didn't assign these ubiquitous cars their own category until the 1980s, despite the design already being more than 40 years old by that point. And in other forward-thinking news, Atlas is also offering 50-foot plug-door boxcars this month. Available in multiple numbers under a single road name, these cars with their tight ceiling doors and insulated walls, floors, and roofs have been favorites of the processed foods industry since their introduction in the mid-1950s. With a detailed underframe, separately applied ladders, grab irons and latch bars, and even unused roof walk brackets, marking such cars as post-1966 rebuilds. And finally, from the Atlas catalog, 23,500-gallon tank cars of the American Car Foundry. First built in 1969 with many examples still in service today, these general-purpose single-compartment insulated tank cars haul all manner of bulk liquids, from asphalt to fuel oil, metal sodium, molten phenol, paraffin wax, tallow, urethane polyol, and industrial solvents. Basically, anything that you really don't want to get on your hands. Equipped by Atlas with scale handrails, topside decals and detail, plumbing and safety placards, and 100-ton roller-bearing trucks. Then there's Intermountain, who's making noise of their own with 2 offerings this month. First off, 40-foot Pullman standard boxcars. Once the dominant mode of rail-based transport, these cars hauled just about every payload imaginable in their day, from produce to manufactured goods to lumber, automobiles, and even grain. Not just bag grain, actual bulk grain. Seriously, they'd block the door with plywood and use these things like hoppers. And then there's center flow cement hoppers. A shortened version of American Car Foundry's classic design, these semi-cylindrical cars enjoyed substantial strength and weight advantages over older rib-sided cars, important attributes when hauling commodities as heavy as cement. Both of these fine models come with either wooden or steel mesh roof walks and working doors, depending on prototype, while machined metal wheels and KD couplers are standard features, as are freestanding ladders and optimized weighting. And then there's KD, who has also generously provided us with a pair of new shipments. First off, 50-foot boxcars of the Pullman Standard Company. An extended version of Pullman's classic 40-foot boxcar, these cars were originally built to haul automobiles, although they wound up carrying almost anything that you can think of. Built with mesh catwalks, wire grab irons, operating doors, metal wheels, and the magnetic knuckle couplers that made KD famous. It's the same list of details that you'll find with our 50-ton offset coal hoppers, also from KD. Once the backbone of American industry, cars such as these were thick as flies across the Midwest and New England, carrying bulk coal from the mines of Appalachia and western Pennsylvania to the production centers of the Rust Belt and beyond. And finally, Athearn is getting in on the action this month with single-dome tank cars in their ready-to-roll line. With McHenry couplers, Bettendorf trucks, machined metal wheels, and optimized weighting, these bulk haulers of the mid-1960s are designed for trouble-free operation straight out of the package. But even all that's just a small taste of what we have in store for you here at the Sacramento Valley's most complete railroad hobbyist store. So come on by and see what else is new at Rogers Railroad Junction today.